I gave away my paintings for Christmas, and now I have an art show. Yes, it's true. I gave away paintings I created for Christmas, and now I have an art show the end of this month. I am so excited. Let me give you a little rundown here. You may not know this, but now you will. Art was always my first love. Art was my first love. Now, it's not the career that I pursued because I knew I need to make some money, but it's such a way for me to just express myself. It's so relaxing. I find all kind of different ways to render art. Painting is just one of the ways that I do it. And because for Christmas, usually what I try to do for Christmas, I try to give presents out that I know either the person will like or something that really captures them. Not necessarily, oh, I like this, I'm going to give it to you. Or if they got 20 of them, they may not really like it. So sometimes I'm pretty sure I miss, but I try to, that's my mindset when it goes into Christmas or any present. Let me give something out that I know will be well received, right? And so because I had decided to give these paintings out for Christmas, it launched a whole different thing. So I was over here just in my house, got paintings everywhere. My husband is being very patient with me too. And our son comes over, he goes, "Oh, Mom, oh my God, these are gorgeous." I'm like, "What are you going to do with them?" I said, "Well, these are Christmas presents." And he said, "Oh, no, you can't give those out to Christmas." And I'm like, "Wesley, they are Christmas presents." And so he called somebody. He FaceTimed them. They saw some of the ones that I was rendering, and they said, "Oh my goodness, we have to have her to display her art here for the next cycle." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So he gets off the phone with them. He says, "Mom, they really love your art. How many can you?" He said, "I don't want you to give these out for Christmas as I can." He said, "Well, can you make some more?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "How many do you need?" He said, 50. I'm like, 50? First of all, I have to find enough canvas. 50? And paints are not cheap. But it is absolutely true. I got 30 of those 50 that they've ordered, but I'll have the others done in no time. I'm pretty sure of that. Let me give you a little tour. So in my videos, I have prominently featured paintings that I've done. You may not have known that I've done them, but I've rendered them. The first one is the simplest one to go with. We've got this one sitting right behind me. Now, anyone knows Vincent Van Gogh knows that this is an original piece by me. It is a replica, but hey, my name is Iris. So might as well paint the irises, right? From Vincent Van Gogh, one of my favorite artists, right? So expressive. Expressionism, of course, right? So Vincent Van Gogh, that one right there. The second one, you probably have seen this piece right here. Now, I know it looks strange, but let me give you the backdrop behind. Now, this one is an original piece. My husband is from Charleston, South Carolina, and he loves the mossy trees. So he said, "Hey," he's always dreaming about South Carolina, right? So he said, "Can you paint me a picture with mossy trees in Charleston?" So I created this one to make it seem like it's surreal. It's a surreal painting. Dreaming of mossy trees in Charleston. So that's the name of it too. Dreaming of Charleston. Now, this other one, you probably never really paid attention to. Some angle the camera up a little. This one way at the top here, that one right there. That picture was painted because, again, too, these are the things my husband has asked me to paint. "Can you paint me a painting of our trip to Phoenix?" Well, to Arizona specifically. And I said, sure. So if you can see this painting, it looks like the hill. If you're driving from Phoenix going north towards the Grand Canyon, you see this type of landscaping where you have these hills, you're getting higher and higher and higher, and they're rolling. You see cacti everywhere, right? And so in the backdrop, it looks like the colors tend to change a little. And so that's what that is. That's Arizona. And he did a good job putting the horse there and kind of putting the whole thing together. I think it really turned out nice. So all of those paintings I just pointed out were just actually just acrylic on canvas where you have a palette, put the paint on there, mix it up with your paintbrush and just render the paintings. May take you 3 to 4 days because of the layering if you have to do that, right? So then you get them done, but each layer really doesn't really take that long, but you want to make sure that it's completely dry. So you just put it that way. Now for the ones that I did for the art show, the ones that I wanted to do something different, step out of my comfort zone, so I took to YouTube. And I wanted to see the different types of art that was being rendered now, what they're doing. And I was a little behind on some of this stuff, but what captured my eye was pour acrylic. I'm like, oh, wow, this is fascinating. So you mix one part acrylic with one part gesso or 2 part gesso, depending on how liquidy you want the paint to be. Put it in these little cups and you pour it on top of each other and let it spill out. And oh my God, the artwork there, the stuff you create there is just beautiful. I'm like, okay, this is pretty. But what I noticed when I was watching these shows, I was like, they would stretch it all the way to the end and wrap the entire canvas in there. Like, I kind of like it before they stretch the entire end, right? That to me is amazing. Like before you stretch it, you still have some framing around it, right? And so I came up with my own rendition. Now, I'm pretty sure there are other artists that are doing it the way that I have, but I haven't seen anyone do it this way. So let me show you what I came up with. Now, these are the ones that'll be at the art show, and the way they will be displayed, they will be next to a piece that kind of complements that color. I'm not going to show you all the ones. I have 30 of them already. I have to have 50. I'm only going to show 4. You don't need to see all 30 of those paintings, right? So this is one that I wanted to show. This is called Emeralds and Rubies. And I'm going to tell you guys, the camera does not do it justice. It is an absolutely beautiful painting. I mean, honestly, I don't even really know if I want to let it go. It sparkles. It is a beautiful. And then down here with the rippling and stuff, like I said, you can't really see it on with the camera, but it is an absolutely beautiful painting. And the second one here, we have a beach runs through it. It's so simple. You're like, oh, what? Yeah, a beach runs through it. This is the lake. This is the ocean, and this is the waves crashing, and this is the beach is running through it. So a beach runs through it, right? This next one is called Jewel of My Eye. Isn't that beautiful? These pastels with that copper, it makes such a beautiful combination. And you have a little pink in here all throughout. Again, to the lighting itself, it's hard to pick up on how sparkly these paintings are. For all of the ones that I did, I wanted to integrate some type of metal because that's the theme that I'm going for. And this last one is called The Great Gatsby. So you just kind of have a lot of neutral tones with the gold in the middle. So you have black, whites, grays. And actually the gray is actually silver. And then you have the blacks going through it, right? Those are the 4 that will be in the show. I wanted to also mention before the show even kicked off that so any artist will tell you they hate to throw away, flush away remaining paints. Paints are expensive. And so I had some paints left over. I said, well, okay, what can I create? Let me just play around. I had a piece of canvas. This canvas has been damaged, but nonetheless, I repaired it. This piece is already has been sold to Chilio, actually. Chilio bought it from me. So he gave me an art piece of art, a t-shirt that I wore one time in my videos, and he bought this art piece. And anybody knows Chilio is a famous artist here in Atlanta, and so he likes this piece. And so actually I told him I wouldn't sell it to him, I'll just give it to him. So I am going to give him that piece. He loved it so much. And so also too, I wanted to mention, so when I was commissioned to do the art show, I was thinking large pieces. You need large pieces, right? They want 50 of those smaller ones because they're going to put them on a large board. So that makes sense, right? And I had to be careful about what colors, had to color coordinate. So when we put them all together, it will just be fascinating to look at. Anyway, when I was told that I was commissioned, I went on and did some of my own pieces. Now, this piece right here is a replica of an original piece that I created back in 1988. I still have that piece, and I actually have a smaller version of it going up my stairs. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So this is called Park Paris, and it is, of course, just a regular acrylic on canvas, unlike the others I showed you were pour acrylic on canvas with that mixture of gesso. But this one's just acrylic on canvas, and Park Paris, and it's a interesting piece. I wanted it to be just kind of geometrical. That was the desire for it, and you kind of know they are men and women without even seeing eyes or noses. That was intentional, right? And it's a piece that has some depth to it too, because you can feel the mustache, the lips, the pearls, the necklace, and everything they have on. So yeah. Oh, also too, with that particular piece, I'm still waiting for my son to put a 4-inch frame it with a 4-inch frame around it. It'll be black, so it'll really make it pop, and that's the center of the piece, so it'll really make that piece pop. It is for sale. I hate to see it go. I love it, but I do have a smaller version of this painting going up my stairs, and like I said, I do have the original piece as well. And this one right here. Now I have pieces that I've created that are going up my stairwell, along with pictures and clocks and things of that nature. It makes for an interesting, integration. You're just not actually just going up the stairs. Every piece has a story behind it, and the clocks are actually set to the time of the city at that time. So let's say if I had a rendition of Sydney, because I was in Sydney last year. Right now it's nighttime, and it is about, let's see, four in the morning, I believe. Yes, in Sydney. So that clock is set for 4 in the morning right now, going up the stairs. Isn't that cool? And there's a picture of us, me and my husband, at the Sydney Opera House, and maybe some more pictures. I'm not sure. Other places too. We went to Japan along with our daughter Jade, and we were in Japan. This was about 12, 13 years ago. My best friend was stationed out there, so we went to visit her. And where we were staying, it was an amazing view of Mount Fuji. I'd never forget that. It's such a picturesque mountain, guys. So beautiful. Another thing I noticed when we were out there was the cherry blossoms everywhere. Cherry blossoms are so beautiful. So I decided for my install for Japan, going up my stairs, that I would do a combination of Mount Fuji and the cherry blossoms. And this is what it looks like. Now, of course, this was already been framed out and stuff, right? This particular piece was well received. Everybody wants a piece. It was pretty simple. So I have to render this one larger. I have to make this one larger for the art show. I wanted to show that one. I do need to remember to put that one back on my going up my stairs. And the last piece that I've been asked to commission, I've been commissioned to paint, is a rendering of my parents together. I already have it sketched out. I'll get those done probably later this week, if no less next week. And I'll get those paintings done. Yeah, I'm telling you, when you step out of your comfort zone and you start to express yourself and start to do things that you always wanted to do, it's amazing that you never realize others are actually watching. Yes, others are actually watching, and not only that, they appreciate what you're doing. So, like I said, this show will be the end of this month. My install will be up for at least 6 months. Right? So anybody can come in within that time and say, hey, I want this piece. I want that piece. I want this piece. I want that. And I have, say, 50 smaller ones and then the other 3 larger ones. So that's 53 pieces, along with the one that I just gave this to Chilio. That was just, let me do something play around with my colors and see what I can do. And I do like Mondrian, so that was an inspiration from him of his work as well. As always, guys, if you are feeling this message, if you want more content like this, please type in the comment section power up. If you want to follow me along this journey, I would love for you to hit like and subscribe and share my message with others too. I actually got a call the other day from someone I went to high school with, and he's ready to be on the show. I can't wait to have him on the show. He has his own podcast, and he can bring a lot of clarity, especially when it's dealing with older men, about some of the things that you guys may go through. Okay, so as we say on this show, our sign off is, we are aging boldly. You guys have a good one.